Hello, thank you for joining me. Today I'm doing a reading for Prince Harry and Meghan, I think that's how we refer to them now, ahead of the new documentary coming out, Netflix documentary in a few days' time. Well, it may not have changed much since the last time I read for them, but we'll see, because there may be some repercussions. Well, there already appears to be some repercussions after following the trailer for the new documentary series. And of course, Harry's book coming out in January would make a difference too. Thank you for all the people who follow me and my subscribers. And if you're thinking of subscribing, please do so. Join our lovely family, and it's lovely to have you with me. And if you want a proper reading with me, go down there, or with my team. I've got over 100 psychics that work for me. And it's davidcharlespsychic.com. or David Charles Psychic Limited. Let's take a look. We'll do Meghan first. We'll go that way. And then we'll do them both together. Harry second, then both together. And see if anything's changed since the last time I read for them a week or two ago. A few weeks ago, in fact. Right, straight away we'll do the negatives. And this, not surprisingly, the card here, this chap running off with the swords, this indicates trickery. So Meghan has somebody around her, probably more than one person, who's deceitful, tricky, up to no good, maybe trying to fiddle her or swindle her or mislead her. She's quite aware of it, I think. She's pretty smart, but she's probably had this for quite some time, but it's going to be there, because my reading is always up 12 to 14 weeks ahead. So for the next three months or so, she may well be the victim of trickery and somebody trying to pull the wool over her eyes. These are the negatives first. This card indicates a defensive nature. See the swords there? The lady's holding the swords up, defending herself from deceit, trickery, and that's what Meghan is like that. She's defensive, she's careful, but there's also a blindfold, which means she may not be seeing it all clearly, or she may be ignoring things that she needs to look for or look at. So these are the positives. Then we have the Moon card from the Major Arcana. This often indicates dodgy females or jealous women causing trouble. And there could be more than one, there could be several of them. Bit of backstabbing, but worse than backstabbing actually. It can actually be that they're plotting against Meghan. So she's got that to contend with as well. She may not know about these, but they're there. There's no question about it. These things will be happening in the background. Dodgy women, could be men as well, but mostly females, jealous, stirring up trouble, trying to bring her down or bring her down a peg or two. And the rest of it is pretty good. She has a Temperance card. Temperance means what it says. Remember the temperate movement to stop people drinking in the old days? Temperance means take it easy, don't overdo it. Don't drink too much wine or whatever she drinks, if she drinks. Don't overdo it with the work, but don't drink too much, eat too much, smoke cigarettes, that sort of thing. Take drugs, whatever your fancy is, don't do too much of it. It tells me that she's doing too much, maybe burning the candle at both ends, and that's got to stop. The rest of it is pretty positive. It's not the best reading in the world, but this reading indicates that around her earthly life, not the love life, the earthly life, the wands, these are the wands, and they're in an ordinary deck of cards, they're the clubs. And this means earthly stuff rather than love stuff. This card shows things speeding up, so things are going to take off, especially around her working life or the way she earns her money, if you call it working or acting or whatever it is, being an actress or an actor. Things are speeding up, but it can also indicate travel. She may be travelling, or she will be travelling. And it also indicates communication, letters, phone calls, emails, text messages, official letters, letters she rather would not see perhaps, or information generally, that's what it means, coming her way. So she's got to keep the guard up to stop people getting too close, which is a bit like that anyway. I think Harry's the same. She's got to watch out. The biggest concern here is some nastiness from almost certainly females, but probably men as well, out to do her harm. And if you're talking to Meghan, if you know her, if you're watching Meghan, watch out, because somebody's got it in for you. And that, I will stand by that. There's no question about that, because I've been picking that up long before I looked at these cards. So things are speeding up. She needs to slow down if she can. Then the positives indicate this lady here, again linked to the earthly life, bit of an animal lover, possibly a single parent, not a certainty, but possibly, or someone that does things on her own. This is a woman who knows where she's going. This is a woman who knows how to get where she's going. And if Meghan confides in this woman, all will be safe. She can trust her not to spread rumours or break secrets. But she will, like all of us, expect the same in return. That's an important woman. Let me know in the comments if you know who this woman is, this lady. Fairly tall, medium coloured hair, and certainly important to Meghan in the coming week. If she hasn't met her so far, she will soon. Then property. This comes up a lot in these readings, but it appears that Meghan and Harry are either moving properties, or they're buying new property, or it could be a holiday. However, I don't necessarily see them doing it together. They may be doing it separately. Yet again, I did shuffle these, as you may have noticed. There's not one cup card in this reading. The cup cards are the hearts in an ordinary deck, which mean love and emotion. Not one of them. And they've been shuffled. There's lots of them in the pack. There's not one here, which means, again, as I picked up last time, not a lot of love. I'm not talking about the children. I don't do readings for children. It's not fair. But there's not a lot of love like adult love. So I think Harry and Meghan are not really as close as the photographs and things would have us think. Or not really as close as they like to be. Or not really as close as they once were. There's no love in this reading. Maybe there will be in Harry's. We'll do them in a minute. Then we'll do them both together. But for the moment, there's dodgy women around. She's got to be careful. There's trickery and deceit. And then she has the Fool card. That's the Joker in an ordinary deck. If you play cards, the Joker. There's two of them in an ordinary deck. There's one in this deck. You see the man there about to walk over the edge of the cliff. He's got a little dog there. The dog looks at him as if to say, "Are you stupid? Are you mad?" This is the spirit world telling Meghan to take a risk, take a chance, but not to jump over the cliff and be reckless. The picture speaks for itself. She's being advised by other guides, the spirit world, to take a risk. Something will pop up and she will know, we won't know, and she'll think, do I have a go at this or not? And the message is for her, if you're watching Kate, take a chance, have a go. But all is not good. The general vibe I get from my crystals, the crystal ball, which does revolve, you can't see it but it revolves, and it weighs a ton. The feeling I get before I did the cards were that the documentary coming up, not surprisingly, you don't need to be psychic, but it's going to cause a lot of trouble. And I think that Harry, particularly, is going to regret doing it because it's going to be something that he can't undo. And it's going to drag on for a while and it's going to upset a lot of people. A lot of people will love it. A lot of people will love it. But the press, the paparazzi, the experts are going to scrutinise this documentary and pick holes in it all over the place. Wait and see. This card, as I said, means property. They may be moving, but not necessarily together. But it does show happiness. There's a celebration there, look. Whichever it is, whether it's together or apart, the movement will bring more happiness. That sounds a bit daft because I don't think they're very close. Let's take a look at Harry, and then we'll do them both together. Do 6, 8 of them. So we'll do eight for Harry. So put those over there. And then we'll look at some oracle cards. So let's have a look at Harry. Quick shuffle. They've been well shuffled long before we started the filming today. Don't forget, if you've got any comments, please put them down there. Don't put anything naughty or nasty because I'll just delete it, so you're wasting your time. But if you've got something nice to say or any opinions about what this all means, because you'll know more about the royals than I do, I get criticised because I say I'm not an expert on the royals, and I'm not. I don't know about the history of it and who married who, when, and who became king and what. I know what we read in the papers, the same as anyone else. But I'm certainly not an expert on the royal family, and I don't claim to be. I pick up messages and I reveal them to you, my lovely followers. 3, 6, 7, 8. Now, you've watched me shuffle these cards, I think. There's not one heart, not one cup card here again. Oh, there's one, I beg your pardon, there he is. But that's from a man. So this is Harry's reading, and it's not good, it's not brilliant. I'll show you first the hanged man. A man hanging upside down. You wouldn't want to be doing that very long. You get a bad ankle. This shows a person that's not... I mean, you may think this is daft because they're such spoilt and looked after, but it means someone that hasn't had a good time in the past. So he's been unhappy. But it's been well publicised. He's been unhappy. And it shows that some of it is paying back. He will get some happiness for all the rubbish he's put up with in the years gone by. But it's not all a bed of roses, and it never has been. Despite the luxury mansions where they live and all that, and the flash cars, and the private jets flying all over the place, he's not been happy in the past. But he should be in the future once this is all calmed down, because it's going to take a while. Then he has the sword card. The swords in an ordinary deck are the spades. And you can see there, people walking away from a battle. Swords lying on the ground, it means they're walking away because they lost. And it means that if Harry gets involved in conflict for the next 12 to 14 weeks, he is going to lose. It means he can't win. That card means you can't win an argument, so don't bother. You'll be wrong. Even if you're right, you're going to be wrong. So he needs to avoid conflict, but I don't think he can. It's coming to get him. Conflict is coming. Arguments, conflict. It's going to be a very stressful time for everyone around this problem. Well, call it a problem, the documentary. It's going to be a problem. And then to make it worse, he has the tower from the Major Arcana. It looks like the Tower of Babel. People falling off the top. The thing is on fire. Not a very nice picture. Now, this can be bad, but it usually means turbulence. And turbulence doesn't always turn out as bad as you think. Usually the turbulence is to get rid of all the rubbish. So he's going to go through some turbulence, not surprisingly. There's no love in the reading. This card is a cup card, but it's not a love card in this case. So his negatives indicate stress, which he has every time, lack of sleep. He's got indecisiveness all over him. He has great trouble making decisions. I think Meghan makes most of them for him, and surrounding people that he trusts, and there aren't many of them. So that's something to consider. But he also has another sword card, another spade card showing a lady trapped like in a swamp or quicksand. She feels trapped. Again, the blindfold indicates problems that you're ignoring or putting off or hoping they'll go away on their own, and they won't. That card shows that Harry feels trapped. Doesn't mean that he is trapped, but it means that he feels he's trapped and he's stuck in a rut and he can't get out of it. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. This man feels trapped. That card is very, it's clear as anything on the picture. Trapped by indecisiveness. This one here shows somebody awake at night with their worries for company, all alone worrying. Doesn't mean he's alone literally, but he feels alone and he's not sleeping because he's worrying about things. A lot of it is probably his own doing, I'm afraid. This card shows a chap juggling. This often means juggling with money. So there could be problem with payments from these companies that are buying all this stuff off them, Netflix, etc., and publishing companies. There could be problems balancing out the money. There could be some arguments over the money. Well, I think there will be arguments over money, but it won't be with his family. It'll be with companies and company contracts, arguments over the contents, maybe of some of the videos or the book that's coming out. But it's juggling there. That can also mean juggling with your feelings, and it means balance. You've got to be balanced. You've got to be balanced with your love life, balanced with your feelings, and it means he's out of balance. You see, he's on one leg. He's off balance. You see the ocean in the background, that can indicate travel, so he's travelling soon as well. So not a positive reading, I'm afraid, but it's not all negative. This chap, the one and only cup card, is a travelling man, a kind, gentle, watery type of chap, may come from water or water sign, very loving, kind person who makes Harry an offer soon, and it's someone he can trust, but whether he will or not, I don't know, but he can trust this person, and it's a kind person offering affection. Maybe it's someone you know. Let me know in the comments. You may know more about these than I do. But he travels a lot. He's very artistic, not autistic, artistic. He likes music, the theatre, the arts. He's a classy bloke. If he goes out with a lady, when she goes to a car, he'll open the doors for the car and that sort of thing. He's the old-fashioned proper gentleman, and Harry knows him, or he will soon. The best card he's got here is the Star card. This means that he is being guided by spirits. It's pretty much certain it's Princess Diana, I call her. Lady Diana, whatever you want to call her. She was princess at one time. He's being guided by spirits, more than one, but mostly by his mum. And obviously she's worried about him. I think a lot of people are. So, if he does a balancing act properly, gets his emotions in check, this won't be quite as bad as it could be, but it's going to be pretty bad. When this documentary comes out, it's going to cause all sorts of problems. Let's take a look at them both together, Harry and Meghan together. Go back to this. Oh, I've got to watch I don't not get too near the microphone, otherwise this is deafening. You okay there, Mike? Yeah, it's okay. Right, again, 12 to 14 weeks. Well, this is interesting as well. 3, 6, 7, 8. I'll tell you the negatives first. Now, I'm sure you watch me shuffle these. There's not one cup card in this reading. Not one. Not one. And they're the love cards. And this happened the last time we did a reading for this couple. The spirits work in mysterious ways. Let's tell you the negatives first. The main one shows these beggars out in the cold and the snow. This can mean a loss. It can mean losing love for each other, falling out, losing money, losing your job for us mere mortals. It can, in exceptional circumstances, mean losing a person. I don't think that's the case here, but there is a loss in the reading, and they're usually the avoidable kind, so he needs to be careful. And I say the reason I'm saying that is because he has the Justice card, which means that he'll get what he deserves. So if he's doing legal battles, I think, or any kind of battles to do with the law, he'll lose. So we picked up earlier, don't argue, you'll lose. Don't get involved in legal stuff because you're going to lose. And he's not used to losing, he's used to winning. And you can see these swords again, the spades in an ordinary deck, sticking in this bloke's back. Not a nice looking card, but it has a meaning. You can guess the meaning. It means backstabbers. People that he may trust and he can't trust. He needs to be careful. If you're watching this, Harry, watch out who you trust, because you're surrounded by it. You both are, Meghan and you, surrounded by people who are up to no good, out for their own ends, and they want to bring you down. And they will bring you down because they're capable of it. They'll do anything they can to bring you down. So you may have stirred up a pot of bees, or whatever they're called. You may have opened up a can of worms with this documentary and all the other stuff that's going on. But we'll see. Here's another card, the King of Swords. This means justice again, or lawyers, solicitors, attorneys, whatever you call them in the States. They're all around this reading as well. So everything here figures. The only time his stress levels go down, see that boat has water calm one side and rough the other. But he's going down the stress ladder if and when he's with the children. As I say, I don't do readings for children, but the only time he feels de-stressed or less stressed is when he's with the children. There's a child in the boat there, see? So that's the best time or best way that he relaxes. I think all of the times is fraught with stress, lack of sleep, tension, backstabbers, skullduggery, the lot. Everything going on. There's a lady here with dark hair. It's not Meghan. It's someone who was already quite well off before she met these two. She may not have met them yet, but they're going to meet her. She's a woman you can trust. Quite solid. Again, she may be single, or she may be married but live like she's single. And she's successful. She likes nice things, nice home, comforts, that sort of thing. A good woman, but a little bit materialistic, but not in a bad way. She's not selfish. She's a good person that Harry can talk to. Let me know if you think you know who that is. But this one shows him overdoing it, making things much harder than they should be. Much harder. He's pushing those logs and getting nowhere. So it's not all plain sailing at the moment. And then to make it even more complex, he's being offered more work. Somebody's after him. Look, there's a contract there, piece of paper. Somebody wants him to do another project, and he probably will take it. But if I were him, I'd say have a little bit of a rest first before you do anything else. So there's dodginess around this couple. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let's take a look at them both together. This is all ahead of this new documentary coming out in a couple of days. The trailer's already out, and it's already causing ripples and troubles. Let's see. There must be love cards in this bit, surely. Well, they're not necessarily love cards, they're emotional cards. Not yet, there isn't. There's 8 cards there. I have now drawn 3 8s, 24 cards. Only one of those cards was a cup card, and that was the man that travels. So there's no love in this reading, and I find that staggering. You couldn't, a conjurer couldn't make these cards look like this, and that they've been shuffled repeatedly over and over again. So there's no love in the reading. Let's show you the negatives. Judgment. Judgment Day is coming. This means, it could be negative, maybe positive. It means you get what you deserve. So this couple are going to get what they deserve. If they've been naughty, they're going to pay. If they've been good, they're going to be rewarded. Judgment Day is coming. This is not a negative. You've had all the negatives, so there's hardly any negative cards left. So let's tell you some positives. This person, another traveller, but everyone travels these days, but he's linked to their earthly life. He's the person making them an offer. Likes the girls, bit of a womanizer. But he's a good bloke. He's the one behind the offer. There could be more than one, there's probably a committee of them, but a chairman of the board or something is making them an offer, and it's to do with new projects. Let's show you the positives. This older lady, I think it's Camilla. Maybe someone he goes to on the telephone for advice. She's a stern woman, fair woman. She has a sense of humour, but if he's getting advice, if it's not Camilla, it's somebody very like her, a woman that's been a good mum when she was younger, but she can be very stern and very cloudy. So the clouds there, she can be stormy, so watch out. Then he has the King of Wands. This is not his dad, it's not the King, it's not King Charles, it's someone to do with linked to his work. Again, another up in the air man, somebody who's got authority, who may be giving him advice, and he may not want the advice. So, the Emperor, that's more likely to be his dad. That's a solid person. He sits in a throne there, look. That's likely to be King Charles. He may be giving them advice. Again, it's not advice that he wants to hear. He may not listen to it, but it's there. And then he has movement. We've picked this up in the other readings. It brings happiness. That movement is with children, so it could be a holiday or something like that. But it's not a movement of house this time. It could be a little bit of a break with the kids. And he has the World card, which can mean travel, but it also means the world is your oyster. You can have anything you want. All he has to do is get balance and get his feelings, his emotions in how he wants them to be, and it should be good. And this card here, not surprisingly, the Sun, means new beginnings, especially when it's linked to children. So the children are I think the mainstay of Harry's life and Meghan's life are the children. The rest of it is materialistic rubbish, really. Depends if you're materialistic or not, doesn't it? But it's good reading, but there's trouble coming. Well, it's not a good reading, is it? It's a bad reading, but it's a clear reading. Clearly there's no love. That can't be a coincidence. I've picked 24 cards. Only one was an emotional card, and that was from a man. So they may love the children, because people always ask me that, but it's not a children reading, it's a grown-up reading. And I don't think they're as close as they should be or they used to be. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please consider subscribing to my channel with all the other lovely people that watch me. And share me with your friends. Give it a like if you like it. And make some comments. Don't make any bad ones, because I'll delete them if you put something naughty down there. And if you want me, my name's down there, davidcharlespsychic.com. If you want a psychic reading with me, or I've got a team of over 100, nearly 120 psychics that work for me, They'll read for you if I'm not free, from anywhere in the world on the telephone. The number's down there, davidcharlespsychic.com or David Charles Psychic Limited. It's been lovely talking to you. Remember my motto, wherever you are in this beautiful world, my motto is, think lucky and you'll be lucky. Think love and you'll be loved. And I love every single one of you. Take it easy. See you soon. Catch you later. Bye-bye.